I will remember the Rumble.
I don't think I will. You know, it's funny too because I think Kyle said it best that like they were really emphasizing remember the Rumble because I kind of feel like this wasn't going to be memorable.
I feel like it's going to be memorable because there was just a roller coaster of emotions. Yeah. Like everything else leading up to it was great.
Yeah.
And everything leading up to those last 5 minutes was great. And then you're like, man, they can't really fuck this up, can they?
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
And I think it's not necessarily I'll remember this Rumble. It's that I'll remember this stretch of Rumbles.
Yes.
Is that a better way to say it?
That is a better way to say it. You know what else?
What? What else, Ray?
It's Friday, February 3rd, 2017, and you are listening to the 50th episode of On the Hills Wrestling Podcast. I'm Ray.
I'm Brittany.
Holy shit, we made it to 50.
I don't know.
I don't know how. We're a few wrestling fans who like to conversate and debate about our fascination and or strong feelings towards professional wrestling. We started this podcast at our former place of business, which gave us the space to shoot on all the things of our favorite pastime without the confused look we usually got from the rest of the office.
This podcast is all about giving you, the listener, consistent bite-sized commentary on the world of professional wrestling. We focus primarily on WWE's ever-expanding waistline, though we do occasionally touch on our local indie scene. Right here, looks at hand, Seattle, Washington.
Every week, we'll either recap WWE weekly shows, network specials, pay-per-views, tournaments, everything they do, they keep throwing at us. Or we'll hold a roundtable discussion on a particular topic. This week, we're recapping the Rumble, Royal Rumble, Remember the Rumble. Jesus
Christ, right?
Yeah. But we'll be joined on guest commentary by one of the newest stars of Seattle's local promotion, 3-2-1 Battle. Let's give it up for the Hellfire Cub. Wait. What do we actually call you now? Because you guys seemingly left the Hellfire Club. You and Krakatoa.
Yeah, me and Krakatoa did leave, very thankfully. I am now known as JaCub Soumis.
Dope. Yes. That's an awesome name.
I love it. Well, happy to be here, JaCub. Can we still call you Cubby? Because that's an awesome name.
You can still call me Cubby. I absolutely love being called Cubby.
Cool. Yes!
So what's going to happen with you and the Hellfire Club? Are you guys, what's the next step in between you guys? Like, what's going to happen?
Well, Krakatoa and I have formed our very own tag team. We are fed up with Hellfire Club.
As we all are.
Of them.
They're all assholes.
Yeah, they're the worst.
It's truly
especially
been very... Oh, I agree.
And Sage is just ugly.
Sage is my least...
He's just funny looking. Oh, the worst.
I laugh because it's true.
Anyway, you guys are a tag team.
Yeah, we're formerly known as the Young Guns.
Dope.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Oh, so good.
Oh man.
Good.
The very next 3-2-1 Battle show, we will be facing Hellfire Club.
Oh,
I don't know which ones. I don't care which ones, because I'm gonna put my hands on Sage and I'm gonna make him regret ever trying to choose me to join Hellfire Club.
Oh man,
dope!
I'm so excited.
It's gonna be awesome.
You know what? You know what else I'm excited about?
What are you excited about?
Talking about the fucking Rumble.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh shit. So let's start off with the pre-show. So we had a tag team championship match between the Club and the Sheamus Cesaro connection.
Eurotrash.
Oh my god, it's the best name.
I don't know why it didn't pick up. I mean, I don't know.
It was so good.
Not like they're trying to really capture that European audience or anything.
Yeah, whatever.
I've been calling them Shamaro lately.
Shamaro? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So go ahead, Brittany.
Last week, we were having our predictions episode with Herman Nerdstrom, And I just want to say for the record that I said the title was going to change on the pre-show, and it did.
Yeah, good job. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pat yourself on the back.
Oh, I am. Don't worry about it. It's great.
It's good. I'm really glad that they have the title. I'm a little sad it happened pre-show, just because a lot of people didn't even know it happened. But yeah, I mean, like they are way underrated. And really, really fucking good. Good on the mic. They're getting even better on the mic. So yeah, no, I'm super happy that it happened.
That's awesome.
I've been waiting for the club to get the tag titles ever since they joined the WWE. It's a little underwhelming that it happened during the pre-show because, like you said, like I didn't even find out until the Rumble was happening.
Well, and I think part of this has to do with just like the Rumble pay-per-view itself, right? Like the Rumble match is over an hour. So that's a third of the pay-per-view. And they have so much content they want to include because this is both a Raw and SmackDown pay-per-view. Something was going to get pushed to the pre-show. Yeah, and if you're going to have one title defense, it has to be a tag team.
Like, did they even do the SmackDown Women's title like at all?
No, they had a 3v3 match to like open pre-show.
Yeah.
It was fine. I mean, it was good. It wasn't bad. How about that?
It got me excited to see Alexa and Naomi fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That'll be good. That will definitely be good. The one I did like was the Nia Sasha match.
Yeah, I was wondering your opinion on this.
I thought it was pretty good, and someone else called it out last week too. That I think Nia won clean.
That's what I actually called out.
Well, good job, Ray. You were right.
Yeah. I'm patting myself all over the back.
All over.
I personally think that this entire match or this entire feud between them has been just a setup for Sasha to turn heel.
I mean, it's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta happen.
I think it will happen once. I think once they bring up Asuka. Because Asuka will be so over that they'll need some big bad heels, and her Charlotte and Sasha as heels are like devastating.
I don't want to get too into the weeds here on this, but I absolutely do not think that's going to happen. Because if you look at the divide right now, you've got Charlotte and Nia as heel. Yeah. You have Sasha turn heel. So you have Asuka as face, but she's more of that like in between because she doesn't really talk much. And then you've got Bayley as face. It's just kind of like it's heel heavy.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that's going to work.
Yeah, I think Nia's going to be face soon. I think she's getting over with the crowd.
I mean, you can get over with the crowd and not be face. I don't think she'll work as a face.
I think she will. I think she actually will.
What do you think, Cubby? Break the tie.
I 100% think she would not work as a face.
Thank you. Boom. What's up?
Like, strictly because the reason that like Big Show couldn't work as a face, so much so that they had to keep changing him to become heel. She's playing that Big Show character right now, the dominant big woman character.
She's menacing.
Yeah.
Like she can't be a face and be menacing.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not like most girls. So.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, so moving on to the Rumble, non-Rumble side of things. Holy shit. Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. My favorite part of this match is when Kevin Owens finally builds his Jenga set of chairs.
Oh my God.
And then there's a moment, if you watch it, where he actually like grins like a Cheshire cat. That he's just so proud of what he built, and like he's just so happy. And in my head, I'm like, you're gonna go through those. You know you're gonna go through those, but there's something sick and sadistic about Kevin Owens that he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna make this look fucking good.
So this worked for a number of reasons, and I'm gonna make a callback to the I think it was a tables match between Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens a while back, where Kevin Owens stacked two tables on top of each other.
Yeah.
Very, very early on in the match. And he did it kind of off to the side. And then throughout the entire match, the match goes on for like 10 more minutes. The cameramen do not put the tables in the frame, right?
Yes.
So you're kind of at the point where you like forget about it. but you know someone's going to go through the table. So when it does, it's both gratifying and exciting and a surprise, right?
Yes.
So I've learned from this. And I see him set up these chairs. I'm like, someone's going to go through them. Someone's going to go through them. But the cameramen were still really good about not keeping them in the frame. And I think because they were black, they kind of blend into the background a little bit. There were multiple times where I maybe thought the chairs had fallen over.
Yeah.
But I think part of the reason why that spot works is a big testament to the cameramen.
Yeah,
They're able to kind of build in that surprise just because of where you position the camera. And that's impressive because you've got like a crew, like 4 crews of 2 guys all going around the ring at any given time, and none of them have this chair stack in the corner. So
it's also the production. The production truck is like basically moving them around, and it's a lot of there's a lot of moving parts there, and the fact that they were able to pull it off twice now is awesome.
Yeah.
They certainly put a lot of care in making sure you forget about something really big that will happen later on in the match.
Yes.
I wasn't super surprised that it was Kevin Owens, but in my back of my head, I'm like, man, the street cred that Reigns would get if he went through all of those chairs. Because like Kevin Owens, he's done crazy fucking shit like this before, and I was like, dude, if Reigns does this, like, holy shit, what he's trying to do to get over. I did not see the end of this match happen, though. Braun Strowman comes out to interfere. Anybody see that coming?
Honestly, yes. Because they've been teasing Strowman and Reigns for a while now.
Yeah.
So when he did come out, it wasn't much of a surprise that he would attack him. I don't know, like the ending to that match kind of made the rest of the match not feel as special. 'Cause to me, it was too predictable that Braun was going to come out and ruin it, especially when they added the no DQ stipulation to their match.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Speaking of no DQ, did you see the spot where somebody went through the table and then the table actually like stuck into the padding?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. I'm like, man, someone could have died. Anyway, I thought that was cool. Just a side note.
If also another side note, Kevin Owens frog splashing Reigns on the table
on the face, just on his face,
like that. That was cringeworthy and awesome to watch.
Yeah.
So there were a couple spots in this match where I feel like Kevin Owens was probably positioning things a little off just because he's like, fuck this guy. I have to get Roman over. Everybody hates him. So he like frog splashes a little too high. He clotheslines a little too high. And I'm like, is he doing this on purpose? I feel like he is. So Jericho came into play.
Yeah.
With the shark cage and the brass knuckles, which I thought was good, especially leading into the mimic the Superman punch.
Yeah, that was funny. That made me laugh.
That was awesome.
I was laughing so hard as soon as he did the Superman punch.
Yeah.
He also did the ooh ah, like whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was great.
The only thing that irritated me about it was that he kicked out of getting Superman punched with brass knuckles.
Well, of course he does. He's fucking Roman Reigns.
Oh no, he the brass knucks and it wasn't. Here's the problem with brass knucks is that they're so small that the camera has to be right on them, and the wrestlers have to really play it up who has the knucks. Roman Reigns pulled the knucks at the last minute, so he just took a Superman punch.
All right. I didn't see that part. I thought he took it with the brass knuckles.
That's what I thought too, because I was yelling at the top of my lungs at a friend's house, and they were like, "No, dude, like the knucks are in his hand right there." I'm like, "Oh, okay, sorry."
After we gave all this credit to the cameramen for keeping the Jenga stack out of the way, and then they fucked this one up.
Well, like I said, I think it's just brass knucks. Brass knucks are like, it's a tiny foreign object. Like, it's really hard to, like, if you're gonna do a trade-off, like to really play it up. Oh, he has the knucks now. Like, that's really tough. Bayley versus Charlotte. How did people feel about this one?
predictable.
In what way?
I just didn't see Bayley winning. To be honest, I only see Bayley winning the women's championship at WrestleMania, and I don't see Charlotte losing cleanly on pay-per-view until at least WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But
I was initially disappointed with this match because I know Charlotte could do better.
Mm-hmm.
But then in hindsight, went back and kind of thought about it a bit more. If Charlotte and Bayley are starting like a long feud kind of at the same length that, say, Charlotte and Sasha did, you have to start small.
Yeah.
Like, Charlotte built up to moonsaults off the announce table. Like, she didn't start there.
Yep.
So I kind of went into it expecting something crazy from Charlotte and then didn't get it and was disappointed. But I think that's actually just them being really smart about kind of how they're going to play up their storyline.
Yeah. I remember when we first saw Charlotte Sasha on the main roster, seeing that match, and I remember how disappointed we were because it was just a regular match. There was nothing special about it, and we were like, "Wow, this was not as good as NXT Takeover, this one or that one or the other one, And we were all kind of disappointed, but then like little by little, they just kept like inching it towards something really big. I will say that worked for Sasha and Charlotte because it was following. It was from WrestleMania and on. The problem here is a little bit that they had this match at Rumble, and now the next one is Mania. So they're gonna have to there's no real small build. There's, they had a match, and now this one really needs to shine.
Well, does Raw have a pay-per-view?
No.
Yeah, they have Fastlane.
Oh, do they have Fastlane?
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks after Elimination Chamber.
Oh, my God.
There needs to be a speed bump. Right, the speed bump.
Oh, yeah. Jesus, the speed bump. I just figured that Elimination Chamber was going to be it. I thought Elimination Chamber was a speed bump because last year... Because
Elimination Chamber is SmackDown.
Yeah, but last year they had no Elimination Chamber.
Right, but now they have 2 rosters, and they can go back to their gimmicks.
Yeah. Anyways, I will say the match was, a little bit lackluster, except for Bayley's elbow keeps getting better. Like, I'm talking CM Punk level, driving that elbow, Macho Man elbow. Like, it's a fucking really good elbow. It makes me really happy when she does it because it's a really good one. John Cena versus AJ Styles.
Match of the show. Match of the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
No pun intended, but it was indeed phenomenal.
Yeah.
This was good. Like we were talking to Kyle a bit because he obviously can't watch the pay-per-views live. He's got in-laws, he's got baby, whatever. And he's like, what do I need to watch? We're like, well, watch the Rumble match and definitely watch Cena AJ.
Yes.
And we called that out. Like, this is a very, very good match. And I feel like it needed to just because, like, I had a feeling Cena was going to win the record. Like, you've got Cena healthy. You want him to go into Mania with the title. It's going to be awesome. You want him to have a really, really good match. Yeah. It's also one of those, AJ had won their previous feud, and he won it clean.
Yeah.
Which no one, in my memory, had done. So... Cena kind of needed to win this.
Yeah, the only other person I can remember that doing this, or 2 people. One is Brock Lesnar, and 2 being Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm. Cubby, you have any thoughts?
Also, CM Punk.
Oh, yeah.
Yes!
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I was actually... I loved the match specifically for the fact of the ending. Cena knew he wouldn't be able to beat Styles with just one AA. So he hit him once, rolled through, picked him back up, hit him again, and then went for the pin.
Yeah. My Twitter feed, I have a habit of always live tweeting the Rumble, and I had a tracker of how many finishers were on each side. I was like, this feels like a 3-finisher match. And at one point it was like 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, yes! And that was when the AA into the AA happened.
Yeah,
it was insane.
Yeah, because 3 is the magic number. If you hit him with 3 finishers, like nothing, and Cena was like, no, not 3. Fuck this, 4.
Yeah, no, Cena needed to do it.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great. I feel like he's earned it. This was going to happen. We all knew it was going to happen, and I feel like this was a good way to do it.
It was good timing too, because I think
it was.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it was.
Yeah, I think it was good timing for Cena as well. If Cena did this maybe a few years ago, it may not have had some of the impact because, I mean, he did the U.S. Open. He did the matches with AJ really are his best work, I think. Mm-hmm. I think John Cena's best matches were with AJ Styles.
You take the guy who's the best from Japan and you put him with the guy who's the best in WWE, and they're going to push each other.
Yeah.
Like, that's no question.
Yeah.
They truly made magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if Cena would have got to 16 with like an Orton or like a Roman Reigns, it wouldn't have meant as much.
I just vomited in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah, but go ahead.
I think if he would have won it from Roman Reigns, it would have gotten a bigger pop strictly because Reigns lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in like a different way. Right?
Yeah.
Like in this way, I'm happy because Cena won. In that case, I would have been happy because Roman lost.
Correct.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about the Rumble.
Yeah. So we're on this giant high of, man, Rumble's going so well.
Yeah.
And it starts off with Enzo. Enzo and Cass like hyping up the match, and that's perfect.
Well, and it makes sense because they have a really long entrance.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna have one of them in it, like they have to go one, which makes sense.
Yeah. And then Jericho is too. Jericho, I fucking love Jericho so much. I mean, they really played it up the night after, where he lasted the entire Rumble. He made it to, I believe, did he make it to Final 4 or Final 6?
Final 4.
Yeah.
Final 4.
So
he's a hashtag 61 minute man.
So fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So having Jericho always slide under the ring periodically was hilarious.
I don't know if you noticed it, but it was a small thing, but Jericho's scarf during the Kevin Owens and Roman match was basically just like a bunch of sparkly thread. And then he switched to the anchor scarf when he came out for the Rumble.
Yeah, because he's the anchor.
Because he is the anchor. I thought that was a nice touch. Very subtle. I liked it.
I love when Braun Strowman came out and everybody else is fighting in the corners and you just see Jericho staring at Braun and looking back at everybody else. And just like you see the look on his face that he's about to leave the ring.
It's like, well, I'm done. Ty Dillinger at number 10.
It's what everybody wanted.
It was the most predictable, but like one of the most exciting moments. And this is also, in hindsight, like the only real exciting entrant.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, he was the only real surprise entrant.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, Roman was a surprise, but for completely different reasons.
And Jack Gallagher.
Oh, yeah, Jack Gallagher. Oh, my God. The umbrella spot.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
That was so funny.
Somebody in WWE has to be watching like Shakara or 3-2-1 to know to throw a great comedy spot with Jack Gallagher in it.
Oh my God.
Man, I hope they're watching 3-2-1.
Yeah, no, Kim falling out of the ring with the umbrella like fully opened. It almost looked like he floated, which was even better. Oh,
well, I also like he puts the umbrella through the legs of Jericho and spins it, and then Jericho looks like he's in pain. Like, that was just so good.
I think I loved right before he attacked Braun, he opened the umbrella on the top turnbuckle and tried to like float down.
It was so Mary Poppins. It was perfect. Oh, I loved it. So the Kofi spot. I actually did some reading online about this after just to kind of see what the general fan reaction was. And a lot of people thought this was stupid. because he's on the top turnbuckle and he basically falls and catches himself, and people are like, oh, that's not exciting. I actually think it's really, really impressive, because if you watch when he falls, he actually impales himself in the chest on the top of the pole, and then proceeds to catch himself and then go back in the ring. And that's an incredible feat of strength, and you have to basically hit that correctly or you're done.
Yeah.
He also never sold the fact that he basically impaled himself. He didn't ever look like he hurt himself, but you could tell he made some serious impact on that.
Yeah. And I think maybe that's why the fans didn't like it so much, is because he didn't sell it, so they didn't quite understand what it was. But as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, dude, that.
Yeah, I think I think the same. If it was a matter of not necessarily acrobatics, but the fact that Kofi is alive, and Kofi took that huge hit to the chest and is basically hanging on for not onto the thing, but gets back to the apron and just stays on the apron for a good 5 minutes.
Because it's not just that these are your normal ring posts, right? These are fucking TVs now. That's a giant metal just pillar that just went straight into his chest. It looks super painful. Oh my god. Yeah. No, I was super impressed. I thought that was a good Kofi spot. And people on the internet are dumb.
Yeah. No, but I do get it from their standpoint of it didn't look impressive. Everything that Kofi did is very flashy throughout the years. This isn't gonna make the highlight reel, but it's super impressive to me knowing what he did. You know.
Yeah.
They've got to be running out of ideas with him.
Yeah. We ran out of ideas when we were trying to do our predictions. We were I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. We got it last year. Brittany nailed it last year.
Hell yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. So every Rumble around person 17 or 18, I know I do this. I don't know if you guys do. But you start kind of going through your head of the people that were announced beforehand that have not come out yet.
Yeah.
So around 18, I'm like, okay, we've got Undertaker, we've got Brock Lesnar, we've got Goldberg, we've got, there was a couple others that had been announced that were not really significant, but kind of just keeping account in my head of how many more potential surprises there could be. And the fact that they kind of put all of the old guys near the end kind of ruined, well, it was the start of the ruining of the end of the Rumble.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those okay, Brock Lesnar comes out, cool. Okay, Goldberg comes out, all right. Okay, side tangent. What are your thoughts on Goldberg basically kicking Lesnar out immediately?
We'll start with you.
I think it is awesome. I really hope Goldberg continues to destroy Lesnar. That's Lesnar's one person who he just cannot beat, no matter what he tries.
Man.
Okay, so here's the story. I get the story they're trying to tell of, in sports ball and sports activities, Ali had Frazier. There are people that they have their number, and it doesn't matter how good they are, they just can't beat this person.
Well, and that was the whole Jux of Paul Heyman's promo on Raw the next night. Ronda Rousey was completely undefeatable, and then Heidi Holm came in, and then you've got all of these people have their white whale, that person they just can't beat, and Goldberg is that guy to Lesnar, which is fine.
Yeah, I get it, but at the same time, this is professional wrestling, and to me, I don't think that's really exciting. Because I feel like I'm no longer excited for Lesnar Goldberg WrestleMania. If it was the other way around, if it was Brock Lesnar came in, squashed him, threw him out, then it's oh fuck, now it's on. Now it's on. Oh shit, we're gonna get the real match. Now I'm just well, he could just squash him again, and that will be his Mania match. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have.
I'm saying maybe they're doing fan service because we've had 2+ years of just Lesnar destroying everybody.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to think of somebody destroying Lesnar could kind of suffice for those 2 years that we had of him being dominant?
I think there's two potential things that are going to happen because Lesnar Goldberg is happening at Mania now, right? So either we have a Sheamus Daniel Bryan and the match is over in 18 seconds and Goldberg just wins, or we actually have a really, really awesome match where Lesnar holds his own. I think that Lesnar has to win at Mania because otherwise he is not this dominant, unstoppable force anymore.
Yeah, it's the past legitimacy ball, and it's basically Undertaker passed it to Lesnar. If Lesnar passes it to Goldberg, Goldberg's going to leave. So it's kind of like you want. I agree with you, Cubby, where it's like we do want to give the fans where somebody really squashes Brock, but you kind of want it to be Samoa Joe. You want it to be Nakamura. You want it to be somebody that is going to be new and is going to take the ball and roll with it. As opposed to a part-timer or an old-timer, it's less, it's a less proper booking. I don't know.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think we all know at some point Roman Reigns is either beating Goldberg or Lesnar.
Speaking of which, yeah, this is kind of how I felt. Just that silence. So kind of going back to the whole, like, you're at 18 and counting, okay, who's left. And then Undertaker came out at 29, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, you're like, holy shit, who's in the last spot? Like, who are they possibly going to pull out? And at that point, I'm like, it's got to be Samoa Joe. Absolutely has to be Samoa Joe because that is the way that you close out this Rumble. It's going to be awesome. And then Roman's music hits, and I understand it's professional wrestling and it's scripted, but this shit does not make any sense. Like, AJ lost. Why is AJ not in the Rumble?
Yep.
Why did Roman sign up for the Rumble prior to his match, thinking that maybe if he loses, he could still get another shot? Like,
Proper they need to do something where they explain, like, oh, well, you lost, but it was kind of screwy how you lost, so we're going to give you a chance to get back to the title contention.
So it's dumb. Like, they had a really awesome match early in the show. You did everything you need to do to build up Roman, and then by simply having him come out in the Rumble at all, like, let alone 30, I think 30 made it worse, but had he come out at all and taking one of those coveted spots, you basically undid all of the work you've done to build Roman up to this point.
Yeah.
And they keep doing this over and over again.
So I have a rule that WWE should now follow. If anybody's listening, is if 30 is not gonna be a surprise, if it's not gonna be Balor or Joe or Nakamura or somebody, or God forbid Kenny Omega, if you're not gonna have one of those right before Mania or Rumble starts, like, you know how they did that segment where, like, Sami Zayn pulled number 8?
Yeah.
Announce who's going to be number 30. So that way it takes it, like, you get Undertaker and you're like, oh, and we already know who number 30 is, and it rips that thought of, oh, it could be somebody else. Like, you rip the Band-Aid off early before getting to 30. Because if you would have been told, oh, well, yeah, Roman's coming in at 30, that sucks. Like, you wouldn't have been as really saddening. It wouldn't have been as really impactful to you. But, we're all waiting for the best thing ever, and you literally got shit.
Yeah, so we don't have too much time left. Orton wins. Hooray. It's 2006 again. Cena versus Orton. New era. Great, guys. So
hold on. I have one last thought about Orton.
Okay. Sure.
Orton. Unless SmackDown happens and we see Orton's like, I'm, gonna go against John Cena, I think Orton's cashing in on the WWE title. I do not think he's going after the Universal title. I do not think he's going after the WWE title. It does not make sense.
Bullshit.
I'm calling it right now. Here's why. There's really two potential opponents for Orton if he goes for the SmackDown title. It is Cena or Bray. Both of those don't make any sense. If he goes after Cena, it's literally 2006. If he goes after Bray Bray has not been built up at all this year as a main event. He hasn't had a main event fight since last year. Since early last year. I would say even a year and a half ago. So it does not make sense for him to fight Bray because they are not they are not pulling. So it has to be Owens Orton. That's what I'm calling because it's literally nothing else makes sense.
Okay, you're wrong. Cubby, do you have any thoughts?
I say it's going to be Orton Wyatt.
Okay. I don't think so. I don't think Wyatt's gimmick works outside of the mid card.
I think it could work. They need to build him up like crazy over these next 2 weeks to Elimination Chamber.
So here's the thing. Here's the problem with all of this. We're saying that Cena, who has now broken the record and has the title 16 times, is only going to hold the title for 2 weeks and then drop it to some mid-card fucker at the Elimination Chamber, and you're not going to get the moneymaker match of Cena versus Orton at WrestleMania. Because, mind you, Cena did not wrestle at WrestleMania last year.
Yep.
Like, this isn't changing. This is the booking for WrestleMania.
We'll see.
I mean, I don't see it happening any other way. I think it's going to be a good match, but, I mean, Kyle was like, oh, look, it's the Lifetime Achievements Awards celebration. You've got two guys who have done this before.
Yep.
It's either Orton and Wyatt or Orton and Styles. Like, somehow Styles can win it, because I think he could carry the belt into WrestleMania.
Yeah,
just as well as Cena.
I just don't think Cena is going to lose the title in 2 weeks, but I could be wrong. I don't think it'll be AJ. I don't think AJ is going to do it. And mind you, I think he could. AJ can main event whatever the fuck he wants because he's AJ goddamn Styles. But but story-wise, I don't know if that makes sense. Okay.
All right, let's do a quick run-through of Raw because lots of shit happened.
Yep.
Well, actually, prior to Raw, so NXT, which, first off, congratulations, Bobby Roode. That was glorious.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins comes in, which is one of the best surprises I've seen in a long time, right?
Fun.
Like, he just comes into the mic and says, this is called TakeOver, right? And I'm like, fuck yeah, it is! So he ends up getting kicked out of the arena and banned from the Rumble entirely, which I'm surprised because this is wrestling, so you would assume that Rollins was going to show up. I assumed Rollins was going to be number 30 in the match. Mm-hmm. And then he didn't show up. Instead, he goes to Raw, faces Triple H, and then you've got this amazing thing that just falls out of it.
Yep. So they're building this up. They've been building this up for a while, and but Triple H on the promo, man, he is.
Oh fuck.
He's perfect. And I've said this for years. Like in terms of promos, since he was a mid-carder, he's been perfect at promos. I don't understand how you have this guy for so long just knocking it out of the park forever.
Well, and Cubby, you were saying before the show, his stuff's gotten better since he became COO.
Oh, God, yes. Ever since he became COO, I think since he has to worry less about actually wrestling and he can worry more on the background stuff and everything, that he takes more times in actually thinking about his promos, which, as we saw just on Raw, it's done wonders.
Yeah. His promo... Go ahead.
You only have to promo 2 months out of the year, and you don't have to promo every single episode.
Yeah.
It's why I don't like Enzo on the main roster, is because I see his entrance every week, whereas with NXT, it was once a month. There's this over-concentration, and the fact that now it's kind of like a nice surprise, it's dessert.
Yep.
It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's awesome.
Yep. So, Lesnar's fighting Goldberg at Mania. We already kind of talked about this. We already went through Orton versus... We all have our ideas. Kevin Owens. My thought is Orton, but what do other people think in terms of who Kevin Owens is going to fight? Actually, no. I take that back. I think it's going to be Orton. It's going to be a triple threat, Orton and Jericho.
I think what's going to happen is you're going to have Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens.
Okay.
I am going with the internet and saying Owens and Jericho for the United States title.
So you think Owens is going to lose it in the next 2 months?
I think he might lose it at Fastlane.
Ooh, that's gutsy. We don't know yet.
Okay.
He could fight Roman.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, either Roman fights Kevin Owens for the title, or Roman is the guy that goes against The Undertaker this year.
Yeah.
Because Roman eliminated him in the Rumble.
Yeah. Anybody else have thought? Austin, do you have thoughts on Taker?
Taker, honestly, I can't even say. Like, I hope it's not Roman, but
anybody but Roman.
Anybody but Roman. I just don't want to see Roman in WrestleMania. But I have a feeling it's going to be Taker versus Roman.
So I have a scenario to throw at you guys. So clearly there's going to be a Triple H versus Seth Rollins.
Yes.
How does Joe fit into all of this now? Because that sort of complicates it a little bit.
I don't think it's Triple H versus Seth Rollins anymore. I think.
You think it's just going to be Joe versus Seth Rollins?
Yes.
I think that'll be a better match.
And I think Triple H knows it. Like, he's old. Like, I mean, he looks great, but, like, that doesn't mean, like, what's on the inside is still working. You know, he's got bad knees. He's got, you know, I love the guy, and I love his work, but, you know, yeah.
But my thought on the having the triple threat was that you could take some of the work away from Triple H, but still include him in the storyline.
So have it be Joe versus Triple H versus
Seth Rollins.
You can. It just means that Joe's gonna do some moves on Triple H.
That'd be a really quick turnaround for him joining Triple H too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would. It's interesting. Like, I'm curious to see where this one goes. Like, if he's just hired muscle, or if he becomes the key point in the storyline. Like, if Triple H becomes a valet, I'm totally fine with that.
Yep.
But yeah, we're running short on time, so that'll wrap it up for this week. If you like the podcast, you can find us on Twitter at OnTheHeelsWP and on Facebook.com/OnTheHeelsWP. You can find our podcast through lots of different services like iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
So subscribe to the podcast, leave us comments on our posts, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, tell your wrestling buddies about the podcast, message us, tweet us, call us, yell at us, just tell us random wrestling stuff. We love hearing all of it.
Thank you to listening to On the Heels Wrestling Podcast, and a big, big thank you to our special guest, Cubby.
JaCub.
JaCub, really, really happy with you're finally leaving the horrible Hellfire Club, because those guys are just dicks. Fuck Steve West. He's the worst. Anyway, it was really great having you on the show. Tune in next week for our interview with our guest from last week, 321 Battle pro wrestler Herman Nerdstrom.
Yeah.
And don't forget, if you're a local listener, SmackDown will be at Key Arena next week, right here in Seattle, Washington.
Yeah.
And if you see us, stop us, say hi. You might see me at a nearby Mexican restaurant drinking way too many margaritas. Hopefully I don't cry on TV this time.
That's awesome. And then after all that, we'll ask ourselves the eternal question, is Cena allowed to name his penis Space Mountain after winning the title 16 times?
He can call it whatever Nick he wants to.
You know, I would just go ahead and call it Thunder Mountain, or like, you know, I don't know, like.
I'm just gonna say yes.
Like the problem with Total Bellas is I already think about Cena having sex way more than I pretty much ever wanted to, and now you've just made that like keep happening. Yep. So I hate you, Ray.
Yep,
die.
That's what I do.
Die.
Yep.
Bye. On the Heels Wrestling Podcast.